stumbled across somebody's little bushcraft camp where they're practicing making natural shelters and whatnot. It's actually nice to see here in London. Nice to see that people still do that. You know, other than me and the odd person who finds my channel interesting. But yeah, they got a lot of wood cut down around the area, sort of sorted into piles and whatnot, which tells me that they are planning on returning and actually doing it up really good, really nice. Little campfire off to the side. There's a lot of mayapple and wild leeks growing around all over the place, so yeah, not too bad. I mean, not a lot of water in the immediate area, but other than that, nice little, you know, whoever's got a little bushcraft camp they're doing here off of Commissioners Road in London, not too bad. Nice job. And no garbage laying all over the place. That's really nice to see. Really nice. This little umbrella-like plant, this is a young mayapple plant. In the early spring, they start to come up. At first they're all compact, so they're little folded umbrella shoots, and then they start to kind of unfurl. They get maybe about 2 feet high, and you'll start seeing 1 or 2 limes growing underneath the canopy. And those limes are poisonous. But when they go yellow and start to wrinkle just a little bit, and they almost look like little lemons, that is the fruit of the mayapple that you can eat, and it is very, very tasty. Something that you would expect to find in a tropical region, not in a temperate zone like Ontario. So, now this mayapple already has one of the fruits starting to form. Just a teeny tiny little thing right now. But it will eventually get almost the size of a regular lime. And there is a dog running through the woods at top speed. So, I mean, anything more that you want to know about the mayapple, I do have a video that I did probably a year or two ago. It's definitely in my playlist, and you guys know me, I won't remember to link the video in. But yeah, anything else you want to know about the mayapple, you can definitely find there. I encourage you to check out that video, especially. So, onward we go. I was, a couple of days ago, I was wandering through here, found this giant leek bed. There are leeks as far as I could see. They're everywhere. But I won't deplete leeks in any general area. I will always leave some behind as I kind of move through the woods. I never, ever deplete any area completely of anything when I'm wild harvesting. Doesn't matter what it is. I don't care how common. It could be dandelion. Don't care. I never, ever deplete everything. Also, before I get to this, I wanted to share something. Yesterday was my mother's birthday, and coming up very soon is also Mother's Day. So this video it'll have a little bit more significance, and I hope she sees it, because my mother was the one who showed me about wild leeks. She used to go digging up wild leeks in the springtime all the time with my father, and she'd pickle them, and she'd make relish, and she'd do all kinds of stuff with them. It really was my mother who got me into the whole, wild leek thing. Really got my taste buds going for them. So I'm sure I'll be talking to you, but and this video is going to run a little bit later than even Mother's Day, but happy birthday, happy Mother's Day. This video is dedicated to my mom, and you know what? In the spirit of Mother's Day, thanks to every mother out there. If it wasn't for you, none of us would be around. Let's get some leeks. Alright, so here we have some wild leeks, or as some people call them, ramps. I've picked a fairly isolated little patch here just to make it a little clearer, a little easier to see. I have videos about wild leeks, and I also have a video where I compare it with the trout lily. I encourage you to check those out as well, just so that you know what you're going for. And harvesting wild leeks, real easy. Take your shovel straight down and lift up, and then just sort of bang the dirt off. And there you have wild leeks. To be honest, one of the best things about picking wild leeks, you can eat them while you're harvesting. What you do is, see how dirty that is, kind of yucky, kind of whatever. So there's a membrane that covers that whole thing, and it doesn't taste very good, and it's kind of slimy and not super great. So you can take that and peel it right down to the bottom. You gotta kind of keep your hands somewhat clean for this, for it to work, but after that, you're left with that root ball there, and then the bulb, and a relatively clean plant. With a little bit of diligence, you can have a completely dirt-free, mostly completely dirt-free trail nibble here. And when you get this like that, you just give it a snap. The root ball pops right off, and it's clean and perfectly good to eat. And whole thing's edible. And early in the spring, they're really, really sweet. If you know where to look, you can find these things throughout like most of the summer. They're a lot harder to find, but you can find them. But oh, they're so sweet right now. Well, back to work. Another thing about that slimy membrane we were just talking about, leave that on until you're ready to eat it. Whether you're cooking with it or, you know, kind of whatever, leave it on. It helps keep everything fresh. And I take these home and I store them in the fridge for a couple of days to, at the absolute most, a week. And I always leave the membrane on to help keep everything as fresh as possible. I don't clean it. Dirt and all. I don't clean it until I'm ready to eat it. So this next little thing that I'm going to show you, I'm sure there's going to be some of you, you know, hey, check out this goofy Canadian, eh? But, and no, it's not maple syrup, but it is from the same tree, the maple tree. Got a bunch of little maple trees here, and on the end of the maple tree is little shoots where the leaves are starting to form at the ends. And these are edible. Now, they're not, you wouldn't want to eat droves of them because they are a little bitter. They don't taste specifically great. But mixed into a salad with a lot of other greens, definitely could add as a meal extender. And I mean, they're not that bitter, they're not that bad. So, early spring, leaves, before they unfurl, the leaves from a maple tree. Jesus Christ, man. Get back up. I was just about to dig up this yummy patch of leeks, and I saw something here that I figured I'd share with you as well. Right here. That's a trillium. It's Canada's flower. Now, this isn't edible. You can eat this. But it is a protected flower. And if I dig up these leaves, I'm going to disturb this plant, probably kill it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that all alone and leave them all alone and dig somewhere else. Now look what we got here. We got a little jack in the pulpit coming up. The plant itself is poisonous, but the bulb, if prepared properly, can be edible. If you slice it thinly and roast it slowly over a fire, and then grind it into a powder and steep it in water, it makes kind of a hot cocoa. It's pretty tasty. It's the only thing anywhere around Ontario that you can get to taste like chocolate. Now, the jack in the pulpit is one of the nicer looking plants. And a lot of people think that it's like a carnivorous plant because of the way it is. It's actually not. It's just a really, really nice looking plant. But it is full of calcium oxalate crystals, so consuming that will be a bad day for you, at the very least. But yeah. So a moment ago I was talking about trilliums and how they're edible. Well, normally they come up white, but if the soil conditions are just right, they'll turn that nice color of sort of a wine, purple red, sort of whatever. Trilliums they're kind of like flamingos. If they eat the right thing, they'll come up pink. And here we have the white variety, so you can see the huge contrast in color difference. Now sometimes it'll have little streaks, sometimes it'll be a nice pink, sometimes it's even a brighter white than that. And yeah, there's a large variance in these things. And generally Ontario uses the white trillium as their flower. The red and the pink and all that, they're all the same thing, all the same species. It's just different soil contents that cause them to be the color that they are. Boy, oh boy. Hard day's work for a little bit of food. I'm kidding, I've been here an hour, tops. And, well, I have to say, I'm actually a little bit worn out. Just a wee bit. Lugging around stuff for the kids, all my camera gear, all my usual stuff. I always keep a safety kit, sort of a survival kit, first aid and all that kind of jazz when I come into the woods, especially when I have the kids around, because they fall down all the time. So, lugging all that around and running through the woods, digging up all these leeks. That was a good a little bit of time. Hour and a half, 2 hours-ish. See, we got about 3 hours left of sunlight. Yeah, we've been out here about 2-3 hours.
Actually, 4 hours.
So this bag is almost full. Like, it's more than 3/4 full. It's about 4/5. And I got a good couple of pounds in there, but I got some for friends as well. Didn't even make a dent. Like, the leaks just go on and on. I started way over here and I ended way over there, probably a 1/4 mile. And it's, the leak beds here are just crazy thick. So I can come back here a couple of times and it won't be a problem. But it does occur to me a lot of the times, especially up in Muskoka, when I go for leaks, normally I find them in sort of a wet area. Like, not like you're walking around and sloshing through wet mud, but the ground itself, when you start digging it, the ground itself is very wet and not very well drained, and sort of like down in low-lying areas. All the leaks I found around here, all the low-lying areas are completely free of leaks. That might have something to do with the fact there's skunk cabbage everywhere. But all the leaks are up here, and it's in well-drained soil. I've never actually seen that before. So, I don't know. I don't know why. But, I think it's about time to start meandering our way back and maybe see a few things along the way. But I want to be at least somewhat close to my vehicle for when it starts getting dark. I only have one headlamp and I got my 2 kids, so it'd be a good idea not being here with them in the dark. They'll fall down and they'll hurt themselves. So chances are this is probably a thanks for watching the video, guys. We'll see you in the next one, and until then, have a good one. Stay safe.